Rafael Leão. Now, he was in the news last week because it was being reported that Al-Hilal are ready to make him an insane offer to bring him to Saudi Arabia. And this report is saying that Chelsea fair on losing out his signature because he may go to Saudi Arabia. Now, this is where I have an issue with Chelsea because you don't need Rafael Leão. You need a striker. You need a center back. You need a left back. You don't need another winger. What are we doing here? Like, what is the scouting department thinking? How many wingers do Chelsea need? It's Wingers FC. Cole Palmer. You just signed Esteval Willian. He'll be joining in 2025. You got Madueke, Raheem Sterling, Mudryk. There's probably other people that I'm forgetting. Is Rafael Leão going to be able to bag you 20 goals a season? Probably not. Because I've seen him play for AC Milan and he's not bagging 20 goals over there. They need a striker, not a winger. I couldn't believe this report. They're also linked to Michael Olise. I give Chelsea a lot of credit, right? This season wasn't the best for them. They finished 6th. They just sacked Pochettino. They brought in Enzo Maresca, the manager from Leicester City. It's more of like an experimental thing that they're doing with him because he's not proven. He's never managed a team in a top division, right? He was he was one of the assistants at Man City, went to Italy, and I think he managed in the 2nd division there. Then he comes to England, goes to Leicester City, and he did win the championship with them and got them promoted. But if you look online, a lot of Leicester City fans are saying that he's not good. He only has one way of playing. He almost bottled the league. He started off really well, but then towards the second half, they almost fumbled it because he doesn't know how to adjust his tactics. So I don't really know what the future of Chelsea is going to be underneath this manager because I don't know too much about him. But what I do know is that Chelsea have a good squad. It's not filled with trash players. They have quality in their team. They got Reece James, one of the best right backs in the world. No, actually, he is the best right back in the world when healthy. Malo Gusto was one of the best right backs in the Premier League last season after Reece got hurt. You might be able to bring back Ian Maatson as well. You got Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Kunku was dealing with injuries. Cole Palmer was one of the players of the season, was cooking last year. There is quality in this Chelsea side. Levi Colwell's another name. And Douglas Jackson's not that bad either. I don't think he needs to be starting, but there's a player in there. He has a good first touch. He can link play. He can hold the ball up. He's better than Darwin Núñez. But Rafael Leão is not needed. I watched him quite a few times over the years, and I've never really been that impressed by him, right? I think he does look like a player that has a lot of potential, but my main issue with him is that he's wasteful, and he's not that good when you play him up top. He prefers to play on the wings. So why would Chelsea go out there and buy him? You need to go sign a Ivan Toney, not a Rafael Leão, because he's going to cost a shit ton of money. His market value is 90 million. They're saying that he has a release clause of 175 million. Imagine being Chelsea. You need a striker, you need a center back, you need a left back. You're covered with the wingers. And then you go out there and drop 175 million on Rafael Leão. I just cannot see this deal happening. And I don't think Chelsea can go toe-to-toe with any of those Saudi clubs that may want to sign him and that may put an offer forward. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Rafael Leão. Earlier, when I was doing a few transfer stories, I predicted that he'd end up at PSG. I haven't seen him get linked there in a little bit. These Saudi links have picked up. And I'm just trying to figure out how the hell Chelsea got involved with another winger. Again, he has potential. And he's physical. He's fast. He's decent on the ball. He can create chances for his teammates. but putting the ball in the back of the net is not his strongest ability, which is what they need to go be spending $100 million on, is a guy that can put the ball into the back of the net, because creating chances was not Chelsea's problem last season. And even though I think he's a decent player, he's just not worth the amount of money that AC Milan are going to want to sell him. And I think if anybody's going to really play that release clause, it's going to be one of these Saudi clubs. It's not going to be a team that's in Europe. I can't see anybody spending $175 million to sign him. Maybe I'm crazy. And I'm not trying to say that he's not a good player, but he's not worth that money. And nobody can tell me that he is. Now, whether he goes to Saudi or not, that's a different story. But I don't necessarily know if Chelsea need him. Like, that would be a mistake, in my opinion, right? Because that $175 million could have went to somebody else. Like, that could have went to like 3 different players that could have immediately benefited your team. You don't need another winger. Now, is he better than Raheem Sterling? Is he better than Madueke? Is he better than Mudryk? Probably. Yeah. I'm not saying that he wouldn't make Chelsea better, but I just don't think he's worth all this money when Chelsea, obviously, that squad is crying out for a striker that's good in front of goal, that's not going to be wasting these chances. And I actually think that Chelsea would have had a better season if Nicholas Jackson was more clinical. They should have beat Liverpool in that Carabao Cup final. They should have also beat Man City in that FA Cup semifinal. They had bare chances in both of those games throughout the season. How many chances did they miss? Rafael Leão is not going to necessarily help with the goal-scoring department. So why spend this kind of money on him? But we'll see, man. We will see what happens. Again, I'm going to predict either Saudi or PSG. I think he will possibly leave AC Milan in the summer. But yeah, that release clause is mad. Like, there's just no way. What you guys saying in the chat, though? Bro, that's a fact, Michael. Like, they don't need him. All that money on another winger. Yo, $175 million can get Chelsea Ivan Toney, can get them a center back, and possibly a left back that are all very high-level players. Now, I don't know which specific names, because I wasn't thinking about center backs in terms of what names I can provide you. But for striker, I definitely think Ivan Toney is the best striker that's available on the market, especially at his price point. He only has 1 year left on his deal, so I don't think he's going to cost that much. And he's already Premier League proven. Who's to say that Rafael Leão joins the Prem and hits the ground running? Because if I spend over $100 million on a player, I expect you to be bagging goals immediately. There's none of this adjustment. I didn't spend a record fee for you to come in and struggle. On top of that, who's to say that Chelsea are going to actually go out there and break the Premier League transfer record for a 3rd time? The first 2, Caicedo, Enzo, hello, they spent over $100 million on those guys. You're telling me that they're going to go spend 100 and what? 30? Let's say, even if you don't have to pay his release clause of 175 M's, you might just have to pay 130, 120. That still would be a Premier League record. Are they going to do that for the 3rd time in a row? I can't see it. It'd be idiotic. Chelsea also have to sell players this summer. They spent £1 billion since Todd Bowley took over that club. That's a lot of money. I'm pretty sure FFP has to be breathing down their necks. They probably do have to sell some players this summer anyways. But they're not going to go out there and drop all that bread. Come on, people. That is so much, bro.